The Jersey City Board of Education is holding elections on November 8, 2016. Right now, there are 13 candidates in total vying for the 3 seats of 3-year term. Hudson County View caught up with 2 candidates who are campaigning together, Mussab and Kimberly Goycochea.
What I'm running for is, community involvement and dealing with violence, dealing with multilingual disadvantages, as well as dealing with productivity instead of politics. When we talk about education, we always talk about stakeholders as the parents, the teachers, and we talk about the taxpayers. But I think one of the forgotten stakeholders are the students. And I feel like, the students who have actually been through the system, spending 15 years of my life going to school, 8 to 3 o'clock, I think that makes me one of the best candidates where I actually know what's going on in the school level. I was at the special board meeting here, the special interest meeting about local control, and one of the things that they highlighted to us, was about nepotism policies and making sure that the board is in line with the community. And I think that in order to have that done, the board does need to reach out to the community. I think we need to have more community gatherings. I think that board members need to go out. I think the community in and of itself doesn't always seek, board meetings, and they aren't really informed of what's happening at the board. I think the board members themselves should go out into community meetings, into community town halls, and spread the message. One of the biggest things with our district as an SDA district is that we rely on the School Development Authority to develop, all the schools and the infrastructure. When we build these buildings that basically are paying pilots, so they're not paying taxes towards the school base, we're not getting any funding for the new infrastructure and new schools. And schools are already busting at the seams. There are a lot of schools at capacity. Some of the classes I had, I had 30, 35 students in my class at that point. Now you're talking about making Jersey City the most populous city in the state. There has to be more schools. We have to take into account all the families that are going to be moving in. We need to talk to our state representatives, our assembly representatives. We need to talk to, this has to be a community conversation. The school board only has so much input. It has to be a conversation at the state and local level. I do think there is a lot of work to be done on infrastructure of schools. Obviously, this is, again, going back to us being going to the School Development Authority. What I do feel like is important with infrastructure of schools is that we should open up schools for the community. It is taxpayers' money that goes into developing these schools, and I feel like there should be more initiatives to open up these schools for the taxpayers. So one of the initiatives that I had in mind was kind of having recreational schools where, maybe on the weekends or, certain school days, select high schools or public schools could be opened up for community use. There's a lot of kids, everything is in the internet age, but there's some kids that don't have internet at this point. And for those students to have accessibility in the internet inside of schools is vital.
My name is Kimberly Goycochea, and I'm running for a spot in the Board of Education. I found that there is some progress in the graduation rate of our schools, but I feel like it isn't sufficient, especially between the gap of McNair and some of the other schools, say Snyder, Ferris, Lincoln, and I really think we need to improve the gap and improve the graduation rate in all our schools and have it as a priority. Notably in, say, Snyder, Ferris, Lincoln, I've noted my experience that there are a lot of multilingual families. And as you know, parents are the key to great children. So I feel like having more accessibility for them to be involved in the school, to be more informed about their kids' education, and to have programs that involve those parents specifically will definitely help raise our graduation rate. I definitely don't see this at the board. In my personal experience, I find that multilingual families are sort of left on their own. They have to either use their own children as resources. Say, for example, I have myself and several colleagues while we were in Snyder. We would have to come with our parents to open house or report card nights or even just calling the school for them to translate. And I find that very disparaging, especially because Jersey City is such a diverse city. It should be accommodating for all its diverse students. The violence in schools, I feel, is very unacceptable and is something that should be put as a priority if not I am elected into the board, if even more so. We should have more involvement with parents, teachers, and students to decrease the violence not only inside schools but around, so that our students can feel safe. They can feel that they come into school with a level of confidence in themselves to learn and to be educated. A good safety measure would be to have more guards or higher level guards, but to also have those guards regard the students with respect, to not intimidate them, to have them be sort of together in this movement of having a safer school. And that way the students can feel that they are respected and they are treated as students and not numbers or statistics. Yes, charter schools, as I've had my experience in Snyder, there's innovation in Snyder, so I would know something about it. There are a lot of them, and I think that the way that the Board of Education is handling charter schools is a little hectic, a little unorganized because of the many investments that they've made. Charter schools are a very good opportunity for students, but the fact that we are investing so much into them leads to a disadvantage to our public schools, which should be our first priority. And this is why I'm running with Mussab, because we have the same views about the issues with charter schools. And for both of us, our first priority is to be productive to our public schools and improve the lives of our children. Community schools, I feel, are a necessity to students in a city like Jersey City. We need to keep our students off the streets and out of danger. And for some of them, having those schools open till 6 p.m. is a great way to give them an outlet, a sense of security if they can't go home for any reason, if their cousin, sister can't pick them up. Me and Mussab know from personal experience, and we definitely share this view.
The two 19-year-old college students share the same views on violence in schools, partisanship on the board, and multilingual accessibilities, especially for immigrant parents. I'm Jeanette Jozu, Hudson County View, the eye of the community.